Hey guys, Andy here. Just doing a quick update. It's been, I think, 2 weeks since my last video. 2 or 3. So I just want to make a quick video. I have figured out how to control this beast. Unfortunately, it's a little annoying. So let's turn that on. Okay, that's turned on. So, okay. So this tells me my voltage coming out of my power supply. So I have it set at 35, 36. Between 35 volts and 36 volts coming out of here seems to work just fine. So, and then I've cleaned up the wiring quite a bit. So now I've got it on this. I'd like to get something better than this. Okay. So this thing, I want to replace it with a bunch of really crappy 18650 batteries that act as a really big capacitor, because I get this feedback loop that keeps going through. So the MPPT, the way it works, this thing thinks that there's no load and then it turns off, and then this thing says, well, where'd my power go? And then it turns off, then this turns back on, then this turns back on, then this changes its, consumption rate, and then this one thinks it's off. It just keeps going and going. So this thing stabilizes it. I can't even turn it on, it'll crash the system, but somehow it regulates the power flow without being turned on. Very, very strange, very strange. So anyways, I have it all hooked up and running. It does work, right now. I have it so that it charges up to 29.2, 29.3, right? So that's what I have it do. And it works fine, between 35 and 36 volts. So I'm going to say it's a success now. I doubled up all my wires, just to be safe. So, because I was getting a little bit of heat, not a lot, but a little bit. I also did some duration testing. Let's see my numbers. So, yeah, so 29.28 volts on Sunday at 5:40 p.m. and 29.8 volts on Wednesday. So it was 3 days and 3 hours of just sitting idle. Yeah, so 3 days, about 36 hours, 0.2 volt drop. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to say that it's fine. There's no issue. That 0.2 volts is probably just from this guy here doing a tiny bit of drain. So I'm not worried at all. Everything seems to be running just fine. So the next thing, I got this. I'm starting to build this. This is going to be my next thing to build. Instead of building another big power wall, I want to do this. So I have it soldered up so you can see the back end of this. I don't think I've ever shown that before. So yeah, this is the back end of it. And this is going to be like a prototype to show people and explain what I'm doing. So I did 3S and 4S and 7S is going to be available to tap off of. This is going to be a very low current draw system, but it's still going to have a lot of batteries, and then it's going to be running this modified sine wave UPS, so that should be fine. I'm not too worried. And then I'm also going to use this 2 amp charger inside of here. That'll be a good use for this thing. And I'm going to take it apart and run the wire straight. Here's the thing that maybe you guys could help me with. I'm heavily debating, this is what I'm going to always be using, these things, but I don't really want to waste a 50 amp one on a small system that doesn't even need it. I could use this guy to balance the circuit, and he could just sit here. It'd be pretty nice. I could use this one, and then run the power through it. And I'm also considering a bypass to it. So there'll be this, and then there will also be a switch that just, cancel it, just ignores that. you know, I could actually use a single pole double throw switch to accomplish that. That's a better idea. So I'd put it in here, and then one wire would be here, like I'm trying to line it up, and then these wires would go into these guys. So I could have a single pole double throw switch right here, and then it could bypass the BMS and ignore it, and then go into here, into these wires. So yeah, I'm working on figuring out that. And these finally came in. I was starting to just pull my hair out waiting for these guys to show up, because I need quite a few of them, I think. I don't know. For this thing, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to have just one right here at the negative, and then because this is low current draw, I'm just going to use one of these guys. Probably this guy. Yeah. I'll put him right here as a switch just for safety, so I have safeties on each side so I can kill power to the whole circuit just for safety. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I need to put drywall down, that's why I haven't done anything yet. I need to cut right here, cut this amount off, and then put drywall down, then put this down, but then I gotta figure out how I want to connect these wires to this guy and this to here, like how close I want to go, how far out, like how much slack do I want to do. I'll probably fold it over, fill it full of solder, figure this out. Okay, so that's that explained. These I have working really well now because I just took a computer fan and then I wired it into my 12 volt power supply. So a 12 volt computer fan into the exact same lead, so I'm gonna have to put this back together and put wherever I put the metal, yeah, this guy, I'll have to put this guy back on, and then that'll run, and I have to create an adapter so that this one runs off that power supply as well, so it's not running off of that one. I just would prefer it. Yeah, I've got all these batteries that I'm working on charging. Okay, here's another thing, an update to comparing the lii-500 to the opus C3400. Okay, so this battery, this is the lii result, 4800 and 32 internal resistance, and then the opus, so 5100. This one's 4800, a pretty big difference in milliamp hours, like a pretty big difference. And I don't, like, it's easy. The lii tells you like right away the internal resistance, whereas I have to do a quick test. So that's how I can tell which side is which, is the opus doesn't have internal resistance. So that's that one, and then this guy, so 4650 ish. 4,800, so the opus again giving higher numbers than the lii. Then 4,800 for opus, 4,700, so this one was a lot closer within tolerance levels. And then there's a final one I think hiding in here somewhere that I did, so it's still being processed because I've been by accident unplugging it and restarting from scratch. I'm getting used to it. I'm fairly confident that, yeah, when I do NOR test, it charges it all the way up, and then it drains it, and then it charges it back up again. So I've gotten used to the GUI interface of, you know, how the lii works versus the opus. Running this fan solves the problem of heat buildup. These things get very hot, and without a fan, you just need a fan, period. So yeah, this guy, he'll go around 0.5 amps once he's at full. He'll just keep topping him up, I believe. He's just topping up, probably feeding voltage to this guy here. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm pretty happy at 29.2, 29.3 volts. I don't want to go to the 29.4. I'd like to give it a tiny bit of battery life. You know, voltage seg plummets it anyways, so it's It's not a big deal. Also thank for everyone for their comments in my videos and my new subscribers for subscribing. It really means a lot. I really appreciate all the constructive criticism, advice. I'd like to thank Mr. F. Miller. He likes to watch these videos and get a good idea for when he wants to eventually do all this work and, you know, save himself the headache and money through me. So and that's actually the only reason I do this channel mostly, is to make the mistakes so that others can learn from them. So thank you, Mr. F. Miller, for watching and enjoying the videos. Alexander Lolina commented that concern about it being too high, that there would be heat buildup more towards the center. There is absolutely none, thankfully. Yeah, I don't have to worry at all because there's actually these gaps in between here as well. There's absolutely no heat buildup. Actually, the only heat buildup is on the negative side. So this side, this wall gets hottest, then this one, and these are usually pretty cold up until the very end. So there's actually no heat buildup due to battery density. It has to do with how the electricity flows from positive to negative out through the circuit and then back again where the electrons are heading. So yeah, it's no worries there. Next is both Bastian Trankar and Eric commented that this guy is fake, and sadly, yes, it's true, it's fake. I'll put it in the description. They gave me a link to the company's website saying that if you return your fake ones that you buy, it gave a list of eBay and Amazon real sellers of their product, not these fake ones, and they also said that they would give like a really good discount price supposedly if you return this one and then buy one from them. I already have this up and running. I'm pretty comfortable with it, so unless the real one, the makeskyblue version, can, you know, allow you to throttle the amperage, I don't think I'll do it. It's about the same price, and I'll do it for my next one, but for now I think I'll just stick with this because it's too much headache. Okay, next is Tony H suggested the MPPT 2424LV MSD. It looks good, and I've seen a lot of good reviews. The problem is the price, especially in Canada, is like $400, $500, and this was $200 for me. I could get it for maybe $100, $150 if I was really patient. But you know, the price to performance, like I said, it's just not there for what I'm doing at the moment. But thank you very much for your comment, and I'm going to look into that one further. Smalls number 1, he asked for a parts list of all the parts used to build this power wall. So that is going to be linked in the description, but it's also listed in my video titled 18650 7S DIY Modular Power Wall Almost Done. Eric posted a few comments and a few videos. I really appreciate that, Eric. Thank you very much. I mentioned my my IR gun here, this guy. They're not very accurate. Yeah, I would actually prefer the video one, like a professional, like firefighters use it. It's a video heat reading one. That would be pretty cool, but I'm just going to put up with it for now. I don't need it to do anything but tell me if it'll burn me, right? Is this too hot to the point where if I touch it, it'll hurt me? So it's not a big deal. He also mentioned that repacker program. And yes, absolutely, I've been avoiding using that program or looking into it because I want to try and iron out these parts, what parts I want to use and which orientation I want to put everything in first before I go into doing a test on the repacking tool. So yeah, eventually I'm going to use repacker and reorganize these, but it's going to be later on. But yeah, anyways, yeah, thanks everyone for your comments and for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate any advice, any criticism. questions. I mean, there technically is no such thing as a dumb question, because this stuff isn't straightforward. It's not rocket science, but it's not like putting batteries into your remote control. You know, it's there are a lot of tiny things about doing your own power wall using laptop battery packs. So yeah, let me know what you think, and have a good day. Bye.